All right, hey sports fans, Loudoun County, and beyond Loudoun County. We actually are on the internet here, and we go beyond the borders of Loudoun County. We're actually worldwide, Virginia-wide, and this is Viva Loudoun Live with Dan Sousa. I am Dan Sousa tonight, repping the. So you can see my shirt here. Let's try to move the camera up a little bit. There's the Two Ridges Basketball League coaching shirt, fresh off a victory tonight. Though actually, if you look at the shirt now, this is interesting. Ryan Mueller, who played at Loudoun Valley High School, is one of the assistant coaches. This is the Belmont Ridge boys 7th grade travel team. And he pointed out, or actually I think his father pointed out correctly, that the shirt basically reads, even though it stands for the Two Ridges Basketball League, it does look like terrible. So according to this shirt, I am a terrible basketball coach. But I want to start the show out tonight by giving a shout out to the Belmont Ridge boys 7th grade team. Won their quarterfinal game in the playoffs tonight. They are 10-1 in the season. So for Timmy, Matt, Joey, Eric, Evan, Peter, Daniel, Chris, Mark, AJ, and my son Ryder, congratulations, boys. Keep winning. I should point out that Evan Buckley there, the Evan I mentioned, is a 6th grader playing up on the 7th grade team who threw down 25 points tonight. So it's something for Stonebridge High School to look forward to, or the new high school up in Lansdowne. Not sure what where they will be going to school. So you're watching Viva Loudoun Live. If you have a question for us, you can shout out on Twitter. We'll answer the question. If we do, you will get this right here. This is Viva Loudoun t-shirt. Highly sought after. I'm not sure that they've made any special rules at the conclave when the election of the next pope. There's a possibility they could be allowed to wear these. They may not be. I don't want to get any of the bishops in trouble, but this is a great t-shirt. The folks over at Cheers Sports print those up for us. So we just mentioned Cheers here. Let's give Cheers a nice shout out. Cheers Sporting Good in Ashburn. Denny Petrello and the boys over there do a fantastic job, and they've been supporting us. When we were at Loudoun Prep Sports and we had a mascot that was a monkey, now we're at Viva Loudoun. We've got a mascot that is a fox. I'm not sure if that's moving up in the world, but very appreciative of them. And DMVSTREAM.COM. You found us here on DMV. This is the site where they're broadcasting a lot of great high school games. They're going to do college stuff. They've got all sorts of talk shows. It's none of it is as high budget as this, where you're in my office. So it does look like, if you go down a little bit here, it does look like there's a helicopter right over my head. So hopefully John Landis is not directing this. And it's a very old Twilight the movie joke from way back in the 80s, I think. If you're older and you got that joke, let me know. So anyway, on Twitter, if you have a question, give us a shout out. We'll answer your question. We are qualified to answer just about any question you can fire at us. On Facebook, same thing. Go to Facebook /Viva Loudoun. We post some stuff there daily, and we can answer your questions. Last week I had a cold. I still have the cold that I'm dealing with, so that's why I have that nice deep voice. And also, I don't know if you noticed in last week's show, right after the Oscars, I was really starting to work on my Clooney beard. I just decided after the Oscars that, man, I was going to go for it. I salt and pepper thing. Do the George Clooney beard, but after about 5 days, the Clooney beard, it was clear. It was looking more like Rosemary Clooney. So I really didn't have the George Clooney thing going. So again, I was shooting for this, and as luck would have it, I ended up with that. So, clean shaving tonight. Basketball. Let's start with the basketball playoffs for the 4th consecutive year in a row. How about the Potomac Falls boys basketball team? Congratulations to the Panthers. They defeated Chancellor by 20 points at Robinson High School on Saturday, 73-53, I believe it was. Wanye Allen, super sophomore, had a fantastic game. Threw down about 25 points. Love this photo right here. I don't know if you can see. I mean, this is the Potomac Falls team. They got their own uniqueness to them. There's some purple hair going on out there. It sort of looks like kind of a retro 80s thing they've got going. A little bit of, to me, it looked like some extras from the old movie Repo Man. They've got some guys that are wearing masks because of injuries. They just have, they have a lot of heart, and it's a young team who's improved. We talked about Wanye Allen is only sophomore. Here he is. He's rocking the purple hair. Great game. And they were down in this game 6-0. at Robinson. And in the second game, the Woodgrove girls, this is actually a picture from an earlier game here, Stephanie Purnell, the center, and I think we captured her in the end. Here she is in the game playing against Cortland. You see it's a little bit darker in the image of the. If you've been at Robinson High School, to me it's like playing inside of it really is a small college, a junior college sort of setup, but the light, it's not the brightest lighting. It's very interesting lighting. It's even lighting. It's an even treatment, but it's just a different look. And you look at these two pictures. I'm sure Gary Sousa is using pretty much the same settings on his camera. Here's a picture from the lighting at Tuscarora High School, and then here's the picture from Robinson. So you see a little bit of difference. Purnell was having her way against Cortland early in the game. She was doing great, and there's Hardison for Woodgrove driving in for baskets. It looked to me like Woodgrove was going to advance, but it's just one of those games where the foul situation was not going their way. Purnell got in foul trouble. The other two forwards for their team, Buxton and Lynch, both got in foul trouble. I'm not talking foul troubles. Purnell picked up a fourth foul 12 seconds into the third quarter. Then Buxton or Lynch, I forget which one, picked up their fourth foul in the third quarter. Then the other one picked up a fourth foul. So then we come down to this photo right here, where if you look to the left of the photo, we have Purnell, and we have Buxton, and we have Lynch. We have all three of these players sitting on the bench. There's nothing they can have to sit because fifth foul in high school basketball. It's not the NBA where you get 6 fouls. They got back in the game in the fourth quarter, and with the bigger lineup in the game, and Woodgrove was able to erase a 6-point deficit. They went ahead by 3 points, but Cortland, a clutch player on their team, who was able to knock in a 3-pointer to tie the game. Woodgrove still had the ball with a tie game. A minute 15 left or so. Did not have a very good possession. Got tied up once. They still had the arrow. Ball knocked out of bounds once. It went off Cortland, but it just weren't fluid at this point. Cortland made a stop, came on down, drew a foul, and like I said, this was something we saw a lot in the game. We saw the officials were sitting there and they were pointing, they were making the calls, and a lot of them went against Woodgrove, and that happens. Woodgrove's a very aggressive team. As a matter of fact, I talked to an official today saying, what did you think of that game? Did you hear about all those Woodgrove players foul trouble? He said, well, it didn't surprise him because they play a very aggressive game, and so when you play aggressive like that on defense, sometimes it depends on how the officials call it. You could get into foul trouble. It's interesting thing. It's one of those things where the players have to adjust as games go along, and they did adjust, and they were able to come back. But kudos to Cortland for coming on down, making their free throws with just about 12 seconds left to go ahead. Woodgrove did not get a good possession with 12 seconds left. I think they called timeout in the front court with 7 seconds left. And here's a picture of the Woodgrove Pep Band. I gotta give them a big shout out. They're sounding great at Robinson High School. It's wonderful to see the Pep Band travel with the team. It makes it so much better for the atmosphere. And 7 seconds left. Woodgrove takes the ball out of bounds. They fumble it out without getting a shot. And that's the game. So their season ends. Great season for Woodgrove. Their season ends, but guess whose season continues? Loudoun County Raiders. Unbelievable story. Here is a team, Loudoun County, that does not have any seniors on their roster. That's right. There are no seniors on the Loudoun County girls roster. We have the starters that we're looking at here. They were young. This is the point guard, freshman, Elisa Page, 5'6" freshman. So they started freshman. Maggie Phillips, a junior, is the only upperclassman that starts. The rest are sophomores in the starting line. There's Chloe Knox on the outside shooters. There's Taylor Tibbetts, defensive demon for Loudoun County. And there's Maggie Phillips. Maggie Phillips is the only player averaging double digits. She is the engine that makes that team go. 15 points. Though I do have to say, in this 5-point victory over Grafton at ODU on the big court, they got some great performances from the bench. A freshman, Elizabeth Gianellis, came off the bench. She scored a season-high 15 points. What a time to score a season-high. In the state quarterfinals, it moves your team into the semifinals. Fantastic job for Gianellis. It's a very young team. Derek Fisher, the coach, doing a great job with them. Shout out to him. He's been selected as one of the assistant coaches for the East team at the upcoming McDonald's All-American game. Great job. Gabrielle Gillis is the other sophomore who's a starter, so let's mention her. And Loudoun County, Potomac Falls, this will be their 4th consecutive state semifinal. Last year they lost in the semis. They won back-to-back titles before that. For Loudoun County, this is their 3rd state semifinals in 5 years. 2 years ago they made it to semis and lost. And then before Potomac Falls started their 2-year run, Loudoun County won a state championship. So these are 2 teams that are used to playing at VCU. Let's talk a little bit about the matchups for them. We'll go with Potomac Falls first. Potomac Falls is going to play Tuesday night. Both teams, interestingly, both teams play Salem. So Salem High School, the Roanoke area. Both teams will play Salem High School. Potomac Falls boys go first. They're going to be at 9 p.m. Siegel Center on Tuesday night. Salem is a team with a most teams have more than one guy you have to stop, but sometimes there's a guy that you really are concerned about, or you wonder, okay, what are they going to do with that? And I mentioned Tondi being back with his shoulder better for Potomac Falls, so it's very important for him to be back, and that's because Salem has a 6'6", 295-pound junior, Alex Light, with a double-double, 16 points and 13 rebounds, as Salem beat Heritage of Lynchburg 53-45 in the state quarterfinals. Light plays offensive tackle on the football team. He's a standout football player. He was 7 for 7 from the field, 2 for 2 from the line. And nothing fancy here. Salem likes to lob the ball into him. Potomac Falls, they're obviously going to have scouted this well. They're going to have to prevent those lobs inside. Other than that, for Salem, we're going to look at John Repass, who's a senior co-captain, 5'11". He had 12 points in the win, including 3 3-pointers. So he'll shoot it from the outside. Another player in double digits, 6'4" junior Troy Mann, 10 points in. He also was 4 for 4 from the line in the final 40 seconds of the game. Salem, it should be noted, shot very well down the stretch. So if they get ahead, they are confident about making their free throws. So that's the first game in our 2 teams that will be playing in the state semifinals. And the second game that will be happening will be Loudoun County. Now, unfortunately, I love the Virginia High School League. Mike McCall, who does the media for them, fantastic and does a great job. Always takes care of us. So I have to say that up front. Anytime we have a little bit of constructive criticism here. And I know they have trouble working around the schedule at Siegel Center, so there's not a lot they can do. But, it just kills me when you have the Potomac Falls boys Tuesday night. Loudoun County girls are 11 a.m. on Wednesday. So the 2 teams, you can't go and support each other for the Loudoun teams. And by the way, looking at the AAA scores coming over, there aren't many Northern Virginia teams left in the Virginia High School League tournament right now. So it would have been nice to see the support of Northern Virginia behind these 2 teams. Unfortunately, they're on their own as far as getting the support. Hopefully the Panther Pit comes out and supports Potomac Falls on Tuesday night. Did a great job at Robinson on Saturday. Great student section. And Loudoun County, let's hope that they get some support on Wednesday morning. That's a school day. Chance for a big snowstorm also on Wednesday. So we'll see what happens. They play Salem at 11 a.m. Salem has one player that really you want to keep your eye on is 5'7" senior recruit Tay Taylor, who is a Wake Forest recruit. She had 16 points in their 46-34 win in the state quarterfinals. Maddie Price hit a couple of 3-pointers. She's a 5'2" junior, so not a lot of height there that we're talking about. They do have a 6'1" senior, Tessa Foley, and she was big early in the game for them. She had 10 of her 12 points in the first half. This is a magical run, for Loudoun County, a team with no seniors on the roster. I see no reason why they can't keep winning. I mentioned Salem, researching the high school today. It's a small high school in the Roanoke area, and I thought it was interesting that one of their famous alumni is Gurav Raja, who in 2006 set the North American record by memorizing the digits of pi. He recited 10,980 digits of pi to set that record. So, not really sure why he set that record and what the point was, but that's a lot of pi. So that's a shout out for that young man. Did I mention the snowstorm, a potential of a snow coming our way? This would be what everyone is calling snowquester. That's right. We get sequestration going on here with the government, but snowquester is coming in, and some of the models that they're showing for this are very interesting. I would say the best place, we'll try to post things on Viva Loudoun as much as we can, and it's VivaLoudoun.com, our website. But really, I would recommend following the Capital Weather Gang. It's called the Capital Weather Gang over at WashingtonPost.com. They do just an amazing job with the weather. Their latest forecasts now are calling for, in the western suburbs, which would be basically like Sterling and on, that's Loudoun. They're saying that 95% chance that we're going to get at least an inch or more. So there's going to be some snow on the ground. 80% chance, so that's very high, that's 5 inches or more. Now, as you know, this winter we've had less than an inch out here in Loudoun. Last winter, less than 2 inches. We haven't had a storm in 3 years here. They're saying 50% chance now of 10 inches or more, which could bring us to that photo right there. And if you're like me, I don't even know where my snow shovel is. Luckily, I've got a tracker on it, and I activated it today trying to figure out where is the Viva Loudoun World Headquarters snow shovel. Right, it went off in the Caribbean, so my snow shovel's on vacation. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. If anybody in Ashburn wants to come over and help shovel, that would be great. And I'm going to have a talk with my snow shovel and figure out, first of all, who it went on vacation with and what it's doing. We're talking about snow. I guess we should stay on the ice and talk about the Briarwoods ice hockey team. How about Briarwoods? It is just one of those years for them. Briarwoods is cheerleading. They won another state championship. Football, they won a championship. And Briarwoods knocks off defending champion Stonebridge 5-2 in the semifinals. And then they knock off Langley on Friday night at the Kettler Ice Center 7-2 to win the NVSHL championship. What is the NVSHL? It's the Northern Virginia Scholastic Hockey League. So it's the closest thing to organized competition. Hockey is a club sport. It can't be a VHSL sport because of, first of all, it's just there's not enough resources across the state for so many teams to play hockey. There'd also be problems with how hockey does have some things involved like fighting, which in VHSL we get you suspended from many games, even from school, different things like that. So in the Northern Virginia Scholastic Hockey League, we have a bunch of high schools. There's almost, I think, 20 high schools that are involved in this, all in the Northern Virginia area. And this is basically their championship. I know I saw a lot of talk on Twitter with people saying, "Oh, Briarwoods won the state championship." And I mean, I guess in some odd way you could say that, but not really. They didn't face teams from the Richmond area. I'm sure there's hockey teams down there. They didn't face teams from Virginia Beach. I'm not sure there's that many hockey teams from Virginia Beach, but I'm sure there's other hockey teams across the state. But this is a great championship for them to win. Congratulations to them. And they had lost to Langley. I believe it was 2-1 in the regular season. So that was nice that they were able to beat Langley. And beating Stonebridge. Last year, Briarwoods made it to the finals, and they lost to Stonebridge. So they were able to avenge all of those losses. So let's give a shout out to those players on that team. Luke Benitez, Garrett Bridge, Thomas Crane, Garrett Forrest, Nick Jones, Anton Laxo, Kevin McDonald, Joey Oliver, Justin Plumhoff, Kim Rajalin, Zach Register, Nick Rice, Brian Ramola, Anthony Sangster, Nick Sarando, Bobby Van Dusen, Brendan Walsh, James Wattier, Neil Wilsinski, and Tarek Zagati. If I mispronounced your name, did a bad job with it, then give me a shout out. I think here at Viva Loudoun, we're always good for possibly a t-shirt or two if we butcher your name, and we do it all the time. So my last name is Sousa. I grew up as a kid with Suda, Sauda, Sosa. Nobody seemed to be able to pronounce the name Sousa, so I totally feel your pain. What other news did we have this week? And again, if you want to hit us with a question here on Twitter, it's the @VivaLoudoun. We'll answer your questions. If you want to know anything about what's going on with states. Oh, you can't make the trip. I should mention, if you can't make the trip, the VHSL, in conjunction with the company out of Atlanta, is filming the games, is broadcasting them online. I believe it's called Play on Sports or something. Now, if you remember the folks at Game Day who do local games here in Northern Virginia, and they used to do the state games, they're doing the production behind the scenes for these games, but it's actually ran the contracts with this other company out of Atlanta. So there are the games, the Potomac Falls boys on Tuesday night, the Loudoun County girls on Wednesday morning. They will be televised, but you got to pay a pay-per-view fee, and I believe there's like a 24-hour thing or a 3-day pass, a 7-day pass. They have some sort of gold pass. There's like a gold plus member pass where you actually give the rights to your firstborn son, and they can come collect him in 25 years whenever he's born. It's a whole. You can be careful what you're signing away, but no, that's not true. Don't want to get sued on that. No, that's not true. I think it's reasonable. It's like $5, which is nowadays that's probably like 1/5 of a tank of gas. Not even that. No, $5. It's like less than a gallon. What am I talking about? $5 will barely get you a gallon. So check that out. We did have some other news this week. We talked about the new football coaches being hired, so we had all that information covered right off the bat last week. But there was some other news that was going on that we knew about, and we said check back, get some big news, and that's Carmel Kilty, the Heritage legendary. I'm gonna call her legendary coach. I'm not saying legend. I don't mean throw that word around legendary, but here's a coach with 300 wins, 300 plus wins in volleyball, 200 plus wins in girls basketball. And she had stepped down from the girls basketball program a couple years ago. She's still the volleyball coach over Heritage. Well, she decided to apply for the opening out at Woodgrove. And so Carmel Kilty, who, if I'm not wrong, is, and I'll check right here on VivaLoudoun real quick. Wow, she's only 15 wins away from 400 career volleyball wins. That is a lot of wins. 25th year as a coach. And she has decided to take over this Woodgrove program. Woodgrove is great in a lot of sports. They weren't able to get the girls volleyball program quite going yet. I'm sure Kilty will. I mean, she is a great coach, and I think she'll get some of the girls to come out in the program maybe that weren't out. That could help. The population is growing out there. Many people are moving in there, so that's one of those areas. You look at Woodgrove. You look at down at John Champ, the new high school. Look over at Briar Woods. These are the areas in the county, Freedom, where there's going to be new athletes moving in all the time. Some of the more settled areas like Potomac Falls or Parkview, Dominion, even Stonebridge now, there's less homes for sale. There's less people moving in. So Carmel Kilty is moving in out. And we should mention she started her career out at Loudoun Valley. She won 2 state championships for the Loudoun Valley girls volleyball program. She started the Loudoun Valley girls program. She started the basketball program there for girls. So great job. Actually, she didn't start the girls basketball program, but she definitely started the girls volleyball program. And she even coached girls tennis at Heritage. She was the PE head of the PE department. She did everything over at Heritage. So I know they're going to miss her there. But she's heading out back to Percival, where she was at Loudoun Valley at one time. She'll be at Woodgrove. So we'll see some great things there. We have lots of news on the website, and we enjoy putting the news up. And so go onto our website, VivaLoudoun.com. We try to keep up with sports and athletics and also news and stuff. I mean, today, one of the stories we run, it was kind of a tough story. It's Loudoun County Public Schools, a driver's ed teacher was charged with being drunk in public school this morning. It is someone that I know. It's someone that coaches some of the teams that at the high school. It doesn't really matter to me. I mean, we put the article up. It was on all the newscasts. It's all over the place. The Loudoun County Sheriff's even released the mugshot. I mean, everything. But I mean, there are a couple of things. I think people should just be aware of everyone's feelings in these sort of situations. The families let the legal system do its thing, and not only that, but even in situations where people turn out to be guilty of things, be sympathetic and whatever, that there are people, that there are problems that need to be overcome, and be supportive. No one does, none of us do things that we want to be not proud of. And so I just think that sometimes when I see news like this break, and we went ahead and put it up. I mean, Loudoun Times Mirror was running with it, Washington Post was running with it, WTOP, so we put the news out there. The Loudoun County Sheriff's ran a news release on it. But it's not like, oh, we're happy about this type of news. And I know some of the Twitter traffic, I know students, tried to be funny or whatever, but at the same time, keep in mind that we're dealing with real people's problems, real lives. I know from really personal experience, there are members from my family history that have dealt and had problems with certain substances, and so I understand that these are things that can happen. And definitely I don't want to be one of those people that cast stones, because man, you know what? We all have our problems, and so just a reminder to sometimes think twice before you post things on Twitter or Facebook or wherever else, which is good advice anyway. Finally, the last thing that we did today, we ran a poll, not scientific. Nothing we do is scientific on Viva Loudoun. Well, except for that time we did that thing about building a missile, but the Homeland Security asked me to stop that. And Homeland Security, if you're listening in on this, that was a joke. We said, how is your high school sports season going 2/3 of the way through? So we got 60 seconds here. Let's finish up and tell you the unscientific results of our poll. Now at the bottom we had, we said rate from 1 to 5 stars. Parkview, John Champ, Dominion, Freedom, Heritage, Broad Run, Tuscarora brought up the bottom of the pack with 3 stars. Potomac Falls, Loudoun Valley, Woodgrove, just over 3.5 stars it looks like. Loudoun County, people are very happy with their year. Stonebridge at 3.56 stars was number 2. No secret there. They were great in volleyball. The cheer went to states. Football team went to the state finals. And you guessed it, number 1 team. I mean, obviously they've had the success this year. Briarwoods High School, people rated them at 4.44, almost 5-star year so far. So, but we have the spring. We have a lot of sports in the spring. We have tennis. We have lacrosse. We have all sorts of things going. Soccer, track and field. Baseball, softball, and let's see, there's plenty of chances for your high school to turn it around. As you know, Viva Loudoun will be here covering it, and we'll try to be back here every Monday night, even if we're not feeling well, and on DMVSTREAM.COM. And until next week, keep checking things out, and we will talk to you later.